Welcome, everyone, to episode 138 of the Looks Like a Movie podcast. My name's Kevin. I'm here with Doug, and this week we are talking about Shelby Oaks, the directorial debut of Chris Stuckman, and Richard Linklater's new movie, Blue Moon. But first, as always, we could talk about what we watched this past week. I could maybe jump in first. I had a pretty nothing week other than these two new releases. I saw earlier in the week The Craft. This was a movie that it's like a movie that a lot of people like, and also a movie that just seems very much my vibe. Seems very similar to like teen high school movies that I really like.
Did you see
And
this in theaters?
no, I just watched it at home.
Okay.
Um, and like real like I don't know, it just like it was like really me to a T, like 90s high school movie, like kind of like edgy for the time. Like I was like, this is fun. And for the first like 45 minutes of the movie, I was just like, wow, this is like a super me movie. I was like, this is amazing. And then the rest of the movie kind of happens, and I was like, well, maybe the craft isn't that good. Like I was like, because people love like there are a lot of people who love this movie, and I totally get it because when you're watching the beginning of the movie, you're just like the vibes are terrific. Um, and I just think the decision making later on in the movie, like narratively, is is so strange. Um, and it's hard to like, you know, look at a movie through a modern lens because it's like of course that's not how they were thinking about this stuff in 1996, but
Mhm.
like for the way that they approach certain characters and certain parts of the story, and like this guy like tries to like rape one of them, and then
Mm.
later on they're just like they'd like try to make you feel bad for him, and I'm just like I don't you know, like it's like I don't. And this other girl's like calling like one of the characters like slurs pretty much like being racist to her, and then she like, she gets like they use like the witch spell on her, and she like all her hair falls out and she's like crying because she's going bald, and I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like that seems like that makes sense. It's like that's a that's a justified punishment for the situation. I feel like it's not, Anyway, um, it's just like a weird movie where it's like the vibes are really great at the beginning when they set up these girls, and then the way in which they like try to paint them as bad, even like the what who ends up being the antagonist of the movie, the way they try to paint her as bad, I'm just like, this doesn't work. Like I want to root for her. Like I don't like that you're trying to turn them against each other. So that was my problem with the craft, but it was fun up until then. I watched The Rock, the Michael Bay movie.
Oh, yeah. I saw you saw
This
this.
Yeah, this is like this movie's a lot of fun. It's kind of like long, and not in like a like I don't care that movies are long, of course, but I just mean like narratively long, because the some of the stuff that they choose to include in the movie versus like some of the stuff that I personally would have been way more interested in, I found a little bit weird. But the last like 30 minutes of the movie are like a riot. It's like awesome. And Sean Connery is just like so good in this movie. Like there's like a scene pretty, and I think most people would just like laugh at this because I don't know, that's how people treat movies. But like there's a scene with Sean Connery like and his daughter early in the movie, and I just like it like made me really emotional, even though they have like no connection to each other. I was just like, because it's like his estranged daughter. He's like spent his life in prison in the movie, and so
Okay.
he's like never like talked to her. And he's like, and when he like does his escape from prison, he immediately goes and like finds her to like tell her that he's gonna like try to be a part of her life. And I'm just like, I was like, that's sweet. And most people probably laugh at that scene, but like I thought it was nice. And he's just like, because he's just such a like honest performer. Like he's killing it. Nicolas Cage is like such a weird combo with him, but it actually really works. They have like really good chemistry together. So that's The Rock. It's a lot of fun if you want to like watch an early Michael Bay action movie and then be like, oh, this is like where it all started a little bit. Like when you watch it, you kind of understand not just like Michael Bay action movies, but kind of like all action movies a little bit of the last
Right.
20 years or so, like 25 years of Hollywood action movies are just like, oh wow, The Rock really plays a role in how this all played out. So that's really it. Those are the two movies I watched apart from our two new releases. What have you been watching?
I watched so many movies.
I noticed. I feel like every time I open Letterboxd, you're in my recent feed, just like at any point in the day.
Yeah, I watched so many movies. I'm trying to, like, really heavy get back in the swing of things, which I kind of have been. I love movies. I watched,
Yeah.
so last week, I don't think I mentioned it, I watched Con Air. I rewatched Con Air, um, uh, which shout out, Nicolas Cage. J
Yeah, we were
I
just
think
talking about them.
yeah, Jerry Bruckheimer, such an interesting producer. Like,
Yeah.
is there another producer with, with such a, though that's what a Jerry Bruckheimer movie is, and you kinda get it, Like, even, still today, F1 was a Jerry Bruckheimer film, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense,
Right.
um really, really interesting because even though Con Air, I feel like it's kind of anonymously directed. Like Simon West, I don't think is a great filmmaker
Sure.
necessarily. It's like, oh, you could tell it's like, oh, this is a Jerry Bruckheimer film with a fun script, and it's like, oh, there we go. You know that there's gonna be explosions and stuff in it. Um,
I was like, where do I know Simon West from? And it's not from Con Air, which I still haven't seen, although I should watch it. I have seen The Expendables 2
mm,
and and I have seen When a Stranger Calls,
you
2006 When a Stranger Calls.
you haven't seen
I have not seen the Tomb Raider
the
movie.
Tomb Raider movie? Those
No.
movies are those were very important to me
I know
growing
that
up.
I yeah, and I know this. I know this about you.
Um, I watched Exiled, which is, a Johnny Toe movie. It was
Oh,
probably his
it's so good.
yeah, it was, a big one I was saving for a rainy day, and then I posted, a Johnny Toe ranking, and then immediately, 2 minutes after posting the ranking, I got a comment saying, "When are you gonna watch Exiled?" So then I just watched it. Uh, it's so good, right?
Where would
It's
it
so
fall in
good.
the ranking?
Okay, let me consult the list. It is, um I have it ranked 5th.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I have
And
it
how
I have
many
it
have you
j
seen now?
I've seen 18.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, 5th is pretty good then.
so
I
I
mean,
have a
Exiled is, like, an awesome movie.
no, it's so awesome, and I think
That
it's,
one sh
probably
the one shootout in that movie, like, with the like, between the, like, sheets and the thing, I'm just
oh,
like,
at the
I've
clinic
never
office or the doctor's office?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've just, like, never seen anything like that in my life. Like, this is
No, it's
like the I'm
unbelievable.
like, "This is the most unbelievable action scene, just, like, in any movie I've watched." It's, like, so sick.
No, and, all of the lines of sights, are really incredible. All of the, the smoke and, the backlighting is so dope. The scene where right after the scene you just mentioned, right, where they, dump
Yeah,
the guy's body out of the window, and then he's, on, this big runner, and,
right.
they're all, hiding, and he's, pulling on the runner. It's an
Yeah.
insanely inventive set piece. I've never seen anything like that in a movie either.
No, I
Um,
know.
yeah, have you seen PTU?
I have not, but I want to.
You should watch PTU.
Yeah, I kind of fell off the wagon with Johnny Toe a little bit. I gotta hop back on, you know.
Yeah, it's okay. We have, I believe he's currently shooting his next film, so we have time. Um, um, and then I watched The Leopard in theaters, which is I saw it on 35 millimeter in theaters, which is a, uh, Luchino Visconti film, starring Burt
Go ahead.
Lancaster. Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
what
I
sorry.
for a second I thought you were gonna like struggle with a name or something.
No, 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 I just
But
forgot
you
his
said
name.
Burt Lancaster.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, The Leopard, have you heard of this movie?
Like vaguely familiar.
It's very Italian, which I like Italian movies, but it's very Italian, and,
Right.
it's really interesting because it's it's 3 hours long. It's this adaptation of a really popular Italian novel about, the fading aristocracy, and, I sound like a fucking I'm like in school. But the first 2 hours are really great, right? The first 2 hours, it's like a genre film. It's like really funny. There's lots of jokes, and then the last hour of the film is this ballroom scene that's just an actual ballroom scene full of extras that
Mhm.
Visconti just knew in real life because Visconti was like he's like a duke of some
Right.
whatever. So like he just was an aristocracy growing up. So he just like knew all of like these wealthy Italian people, and they were all the extras in this super long ballroom scene where like Burt Lancaster's just walking around and he like looks like he's gonna fucking die. Like he's so sad. Um
Wow.
and it's incredible. It's like so major.
Yeah,
And
it
that
sounds
was really great.
incredible. The only Visconti movie I like hear, or the I shouldn't say the only one, but the one I mostly hear about is Rocco and his brothers, which I also haven't seen. I haven't seen any Visconti,
Right. Yeah, I
um,
haven't seen
but that sounds really
Rocco and
good.
his brothers. Yeah, this is the first one I've seen. I'm interested. It's interesting. It's really good. Um, oh my god. Okay, that I had a Stephen King double feature. I watched Christine and The Dead Zone.
I
Um,
did see that you logged these. Yes.
Christine is a good movie, obviously. Um, it's so Stephen King. It's so interesting that he has so many movies based off of his works because
Yeah.
all of his works feel like I'm not a Stephen King hater. Like I like Stephen King, a
Hmm.
lot of Stephen King ideas, but like so many of like his golden age ideas are just like, yeah, what if the car was a killer? Like or like even like the
Uh,
black phone where it's like what if the kid could talk to dead people? You know, like so like
yeah.
supernatural and kind of like campy like focused. It's interesting that he's such a
Right.
major authorial voice in like Western culture because like these are not the greatest ideas in the world to me at
Yeah.
least, you know. But
But to many
Christine is
people,
fun. No, exactly,
which is
right?
it's funny because that's also like part of the conversation in Blue Moon that I wanna get to when we get there.
Right.
But that's an
Um
interesting topic in that movie.
yeah, but Christine is fun. The main character in the movie keeps saying shitters. He's like, we're gonna fucking get
Yeah,
all
I
the
know.
shitters.
I think that's literally what my letterboxd review is. It was about that because I was like, I this is like unlike anything that I've ever said. Like, who does that?
The
When was
shitters
that?
are gonna pay. It's like, okay. And then the Dead Zone, is awesome. Have you seen this?
I have not.
Um,
No.
it's a David Cronenberg, and it's Christopher Walken could see people's futures. Um,
Mm,
so he like, and so he was like in a coma, and then he got out of the coma, and when he got out of the coma, he could see people's futures, and that's like the whole movie basically. And then he's just like going around and seeing people's futures, and it's like freaking him out. And my favorite part in the movie is he gets into an argument with the dad of this kid that he's tutoring because he sees that the kid that he's tutoring is gonna go like die in an ice skating incident, like the ice is gonna break, and the dad is like, you don't get to tell me what to do, you're fucking crazy. And then Christopher Walken's like, the ice is going to break. um and it's really great. Love Christopher Walken.
yeah.
I
I was scrolling TikTok this morning in bed, and I got a video of like a compilation of people doing Christopher Walken impression.
one of the
That's just
most
like what my
singular
feed looks like.
one of the most singular voices ever, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean it's awesome.
Remember when he was in Dune for some reason?
I do. Yeah. But it's not for some reason, it's for a reason.
I know, it's just I think
It is funny, I guess, but
bizarre casting. I don't know. Um,
yeah.
I rewatched Rosemary's Baby,
Oh,
uh,
interesting, because that
in
also could
theaters.
factor into our conversation in a few minutes.
Well, yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was on 35 millimeter. So sick. Like truly, like just one of my favorite movies ever. You've seen it, right?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
a long time since I've watched it. Gosh, like, probably, not since, I don't know, my freshman year of college or senior year of high school. It's been a bit, but
it's so incredible. I Adam Naiman. I saw a social media post from him. I think it was yesterday, where he also rewatched Rosemary's Baby. and he said that he thinks it's a really interesting piece of adaptation, because he's saying that like so much of the movie is from the book and not from Polanski. And it's
Right.
like so much of Polanski just and I haven't read the book, but after he said that, I was like, "Oh, I'm really interested to read the book now," because he was like, even like the blocking is like from the book, and all of the
Mhm.
stuff is like just straight from the book, and it's like, "Oh, that's really interesting." That's not how I would think about it because I haven't read the book, but uh, yeah, the movie's good. I watched The Assassin, which is Hu Shen film. Uh, it was my first Hu Shen. Have you seen any of his movies like Millennium Mambo or anything?
I don't believe I have, no.
He's a Taiwanese. He's like a major Taiwanese like new wave filmmaker. The Assassin is his most recent film. It came out in 2015. It's probably his last film. Going to be his last film. And I watched it because it's a wuxia. It's a reclamation of like the genre. It's like taking this action genre and kind of like making like a slow action movie. Um, if you like just skim letterbox reviews, everybody's either like the movie looks amazing or people are like the movie's fucking boring as shit, and there's like no in between, and there's no in between, and then there's also like no more substance to any of the reviews. All of everybody that likes the movie that I follow, they literally don't say anything more meaningful than the movie looks really good. um and I was like, that's interesting. So then I watched the movie and I was like, oh, okay, there's just kind of like it's very subtle. Like it's so subtle. All the stuff to unpack is
Yeah.
very subtle. I think it's like an interesting piece of feminist cinema because the main character being a woman is interesting.
Yeah.
And like the politics of the movie are interesting. I read this really interesting essay from a Chinese news outlet that was saying that the main character is kind of like a metaphor for Taiwan, and Hu Shen is kind of like taking this like classic Chinese tale and then applying it to contemporary Taiwanese politics. And I was like,
Oh.
hmm, perhaps.
It's funny, the top review on Letterboxd for this movie pretty much exactly sums up what you were saying. The first paragraph of this review, one-star review that says, "There's no denying that The Assassin is one of the most beautiful looking films out there, for every frame of it qualifies as a masterwork of breathtaking photography. But there's also no refuting the fact that it is an insufferably boring film, for just being able to sit through this snail-paced art house endeavor is an achievement in itself."
Yeah, no, exactly. Um,
But is
uh,
that is that just is that accurate, or is it just boring if you're like a person who doesn't like movies like this?
it's very slow. It's like super, super slow. That's like I was watching the movie and I just think that it's an action movie called The Assassin, so I think that
Right.
people are going in with fucked up expectations because it is it's really, really slow, and I think that there's some people that would never watch a movie this slow, expecting it to like, wanting it to be something else, like, they're going in with inappropriate
Sure. I
expectations,
guess
you
that makes
know?
sense. It's also not a very long movie though, no? It's like
It's
but
not, but
obviously,
it's
like, it could be short and slow. That's not, I mean, I watch Kelly Reichardt movies, and none of those are over 2 hours long, and they feel like 9 hours to most people, so
yeah, it is not a very long movie. It is very slow. The but that's the thing. I was watching the movie and I was like, man, people have fucking TikTok.
Oh,
Like
I
their
know.
brains are
It's like
cooked.
a real problem. I mean, that's like the exact conversation I was having about The Mastermind last week, where like when people started watching it as the mystery movie, I was like, you really, because like I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm like when I'm watching that movie, like half of what they're saying is so slow is just so normal to me. I'm like, there's plenty happening in this movie. It's really like you do just have to have like a real attention problem to
Yeah,
watch something like The Mastermind and be like, nothing happens in this, but like it's so boring. I'm like, it might be a little bit boring, but
I
like
haven't
it's
seen The
not like,
Mastermind,
you know,
but I can't imagine it's any slower than Showing Up. Right?
it. I mean, showing up is definitely slower. I think The Mastermind is
Okay.
like her really like most exciting movie for the average
Okay, yeah, that's
moviegoer.
what I was gonna get at because I was like, both like Showing Up and First Cow, which are her previous 2 movies, right? Or is it
Yeah.
yeah, it's like those are both like so interesting, like narratively, like there's like a real pace to them. Granted, Showing Up
Yeah.
is like it's kind of a slow pace, but it's like one thing happens after another, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I just yeah, it's like and again, maybe she's a bad example, but there's like, there's examples of movies that are uh, less slow than a Kelly Riker movie, and people will still just be like, like I can't sit through this. It's boring as shit. I'm like, man, like this is like a real you problem, you know? It's like it should not be that hard to get somebody to sit in a room for 90 minutes to 2 hours and like watch a narrative story unfold. Like it's not like you're watching something experimental. It's literally like things are happening. Like you should just be able to pay attention to things happening for 2 hours without fucking freaking out about it or, like, falling asleep, but
Yeah, and also, like, turn your
that's a
brain
lot
on.
to ask.
A thing about The Assassin that I was thinking about was, like, it's so nice. Like, the slope again, you have to lock into it, right? And you can't be like, "Oh, I want this to be a different movie," right? You have to accept it on its terms. And then it becomes really nice because then there's, like, these shots of like, these lingering shots of
Yeah,
landscapes, right? And it's like, "Oh," or, these lingering shots of people sitting in rooms not talking, just, just hanging out.
right,
And it's like, "Oh, I feel like I can fucking breathe and my brain is like chilling out,
yeah.
you know?
And it's
So yeah,
even perhaps a conversation we could revisit with something like Blue Moon because it's like that's just a movie where people are talking the whole time, and and I can imagine people also being bored by that, but it's like, why? You know? Like,
right.
that's I don't know. Anyway, is there anything else that you watched?
Yeah, I watched 2 movies the day before yesterday. Called I watched Pitch Black, which have you seen this? It's the first movie in the Chronicles of Riddick series.
No, I
Um
have not. I'm not really I was yeah, Riddick, I don't I'm not too tapped into.
Neither was I, but Pitch Black starring Vin Diesel as Richard B. Riddick. Um he looks like bro, he looks so stupid. Um, it's like I was watching it with my girlfriend and she kept saying like, "Do you wanna play mermaids?" Because it looks like he's like a little kid wearing goggles at the pool.
Yeah,
Um,
that's so
and
funny.
yeah, it's like it's like kind of fun, right? Like the concept is fun. It's the thing where I was watching the movie and I was like, "Bro, you give me the script and the same budget and I could make this movie so much better." Just like I'm sitting here
Right,
like this move like the director it's such a like early 2000s problem where it's like the
sure.
filmmaking is such an afterthought for a lot of it. Um or it's like
Yeah,
TV movie filmmaking because the whole concept is that Riddick can see in the dark, right? And they crash land on this planet where there's 3 suns, so it's so bright outside. And then there's an eclipse that makes it pitch black. And then there's
mm,
like monsters on the planet that also that like the sun burns them or whatever. But like for the first parts of the movie, it is they're outside and it's so bright and the way that they communicate that it's like way brighter than normal sunlight is they just turn the exposure way up. So it just I'm not joking. The exposure is just super high, so it looks like shit. It looks so fucking dog shit, bro. It looks
that's
so
so funny.
terrible. And then I think about the new like Denny about like Dune Part 2, right? That the first scene in Dune Part 2 where it's like they have those really harsh shadows, right? And I think that communicates like it being like the sun being really bright way better than just turning the exposure all the way up. Like
Yeah,
what
of
the hell are
course.
you doing? Um,
That's funny. I just went down a rabbit hole of I saw that Cole Hauser's in this movie, and I was like, Cole Hauser used to be in movies, and I looked at if you sort Cole Hauser's filmography from like early work to later work, just look at like what the movies look like at the beginning of his career, and then just look at like the top 3 rows of of like his 3 rows of most recent movies.
oh my god.
It's like such a fucking podcast listeners, if you're listening, go on Letterboxd and sort Cole Hauser's movies from earliest to newest and do yourself a favor of just looking at what the posters look like for like his 15 most recent
Well,
movies.
he was just like he was kinda on a like, he wasn't like he was in real movies, and then he just started showing up in, like, the late Bruce Willis movies.
Yeah.
Like as like not a main character. Like this is crazy.
Yeah, it's very funny. Anyway, um, Pitch Black. And then what was the other movie?
Oh, yeah, last movie I watched, it's called Vampire Hunters or Chow Hawk's Vampire Hunters. Um, and, is produced and written by Chow Hawk and then directed by, I forget his name, but, like, a pretty minor Hong Kong filmmaker. It's, like, fun. It's, like, a fun little action horror movie. It's called Vampire Hunters, and because there's like a Hong Kong, like Chinese tradition, like traditional monster called I think it's hopping vampires. Um, they're zombies. It's like they're zombies. It's like they're literally zombies. It's like reanimated corpses.
Right.
Like they're not bloodsuckers. There's no Western vampirism at all. They're way more similar to a Western zombie than a Western vampire. Um, but it's like a supernatural kind of zombie where they like it's not like an infection, it's like a spiritual, like they jump from one body to another. Um, and it's like a wuxia kung fu movie. It was fun. It's like nobody has seen this movie. Um, but
Yeah.
yep, that's what I watched. I found it at the same thing with Pitch Black. We found it at like a used DVD store, and I was like, oh, and
Yeah,
then
why
yeah,
not?
yeah, yeah. Okay, movies.
Um, so Shelby Oaks is, like we said, the directorial debut of Chris Stuckman, whom I'd imagine 90% of listeners of the podcast know as a movie reviewer on the internet, who has been doing it for a long, long time on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you have a
and
relationship to Chris Stuckman's videos?
Yeah, but it's like a distant one now. But he was certainly a person that I watched a ton when I was getting into movies. In high school, I was watching Chris Stuckman pretty regularly. Um,
Interesting.
he was like he was really like before I like considered the idea of reading film criticism or like, and I mean, I was like reading about movies in high school, but like I was reading about movies in high school on like, Reddit threads, not like reading about movies in high school. So like if when I went to see a new movie, I would pretty much almost always go home and watch a Chris Stuckman video review of said new movie. Um, and that I would say probably ended around, like in early into college, I would watch a video here and there when I was curious about his opinion, but in terms of like actually being very reliant on his opinion, that was a thing I definitely did a lot in high school. So I have like he was one of the people that got me into thinking about movies critically.
Sure.
But that was at
Okay.
the beginning stages of that process. And I like him. Like I just like the guy. Like he's a nice dude.
He seems like a nice guy.
He watches a ton of fucking movies, and I really like respect one thing now, even like to this day, that I respect is like how willing he is to just like watch so much stuff that he doesn't have to review. Like but he does anyway. So he is like, he's involved. He's busy. I'm assuming you did not watch his videos?
I didn't like Chris Tuckman. No, yeah.
Okay.
I never watched his videos. I in high school, so like in middle school I watched Jeremy Johns, right?
Right.
Um uh not a good guy, also not a very
No.
smart guy. But
Yeah,
yeah, I watched
neither of
his
those
videos
things.
in middle school, and then in high school I watched a lot of Your Movie Sucks, who's like
Oh,
evil Chris Stuckman.
yeah.
um, um
I'm familiar, but I was not watching.
Yeah, so I think I might have seen, like, 3 Chris Stuckman videos total and was like, "I don't know." So I'm interested that,
Yeah.
how many people have, like, because that's, like, a lot of people are saying this, and also, like, we have, like, friends that, like, interviewed him and were like, "This is the greatest achievement of my life is interviewing Chris Stuckman," and it's like, I'm
Yeah.
interested that in how many people have, like are, like, super into him like that because just because I
That's a
wasn't,
lot, I
so
would guess. I mean,
yeah.
the other thing that's, like, notable about this movie is that it was, like, funded through a Kickstarter, and it was a very
Like, super
successful
successful
one,
Chris yeah.
So it's like he has a huge fan base to be able to raise that budget. Um, and get this movie made. And then of course Neon stepped in and
For, like,
helped with,
distribution.
yeah, well, distribution and also like additional budget to film scenes that they read in the script uh, that he didn't get to shoot. So it made it a more complete movie. Um, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that like we're watching a movie from somebody that everybody on the internet and like most of the people listening to this podcast have some relationship to, if not at least like knowledge of. Um, so yeah, and like the notable feature of his is that he is like loves horror movies. Like that was always, that was the thing that he made very obvious in his reviews, was that like horror movies are his bread and butter. Like that's his niche. And so he made a horror movie. And that's Shelby Oaks. What did
Okay,
you think about Shelby Oaks?
this movie fucking sucks, unfortunately,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I think it's very
Not to lay it
unfortunate.
on too thick,
Yeah,
but
no, but I think it's very unfortunate, because of everything that we just explained. But yeah, the movie's bad. Like it's a tough watch.
yeah, I was okay, I'll walk you through what was going on for me with this movie because I
Okay.
wanted I knew that you didn't like it before I went in, and I knew that I had seen some anonymous people that I didn't really know post on social media that they really
Being
didn't
like
like
it's
it.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like whatever. But that's never like been that important, right?
sure.
To me going in. So I was like, you know, whatever, we'll see. And then the movie starts and that whole fucking like mockumentary prologue,
Mm,
I really was like sitting there thinking, and I was like, I'm like removing who I know the director is, right? If I like this was a new thing that I had no knowledge of, right? I was like that prologue. I was like, man, this is a really expensive YouTube video. I
yeah,
was like, man, this shit would be like a really impressive YouTube video.
yeah,
This is like that whole prologue where it's like that mockumentary of being like setting up the whole story. I was like, yeah,
yeah.
man, I thought that was gonna be the whole movie, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be a disaster."
Well, you
Because
know
I
what
was
it
like,
I mean, like what it feels like is like, at least what I felt like. I was like, it's like an episode of American Vandal. I was like, that's like what it like. That was, both, like, even in tone, like, because American
mhm,
Vandal's obviously trying to be funny,
mhm.
but, like, the acting in that first 15 minutes and the writing in that first 15 minutes, like, during the mockumentary, I'm like, bad. I will say, I liked that first 15 minutes more than the rest of the movie. Like, I
I think that's fair.
to me, when I was watching that first 15 minutes, I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." Like, it's, like, obviously riffing on, like, true crime and, like, could be like a good way to frame the movie. And then there is the scene at the end, right before the title card, where and now we're gonna start getting into spoilers for the
Yeah,
movie.
we have to spoil the movie,
Yeah, we
right?
have to
So
spoil
if
this
like
movie to talk about it.
yeah,
It's
just
kind of
there's so
hard
much
not
that
to.
happens, and
So if you
yeah.
still haven't gotten a chance to see Shelby Oaks, then do not listen to the rest of this. But right before the title card, that guy shows up and shoots himself right in front of her. And when I saw that, I was like, I'm about to be watching a bad movie. Like because during the whole like mockumentary part, I was like, similar to what you're saying, I was like, oh, this feels a little bit off. I was like, the production value is not.
It
I'm
felt
like,
like a really expensive amateur film during the
yeah, I was
mockumentary
like,
part.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I was like, it's like a little bit weird. It's not everything's clicking, but I see the vision, and if it starts to like build on this, I could see it being an interesting movie. And then as soon as that scene happens before the title card, I was like, oh, this is going to be like all of the horror movies of new that we shit on the podcast regularly. You know what I mean? Like as soon as that scene happened, I was like, yeah, we're going to the bad place.
I
And
kept
then
yeah.
and then it happens.
I kept thinking of the, of Raka Raka, the Philippe brothers.
Filippo, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, so similar. Unfortunately, they're so similar, and, like, obviously, like, they're both YouTubers, which is, like, that's, like, the most surface level. That's not even what I'm talking about. Like, they're so similar in the sense that, they've both seen Hereditary.
Yeah. I was literally, oh my god. And
It's just, like,
glad you said it before me. Um,
um it's like both of them, like, but this and Talk to Me is like, "Oh, we have Hereditary at home."
Yeah.
At least
It's
Talk to Me is like, granted, I don't think Talk to Me is a great movie, right? And I don't think the Filippo brothers are good filmmakers. I have like really intense negative criticism of them on my letterbox that people were like really pushing back on in the comments. But like after their last movie, where I was like, I just don't think these guys are ever gonna make an interesting movie. Um,
yeah.
but at least like Talk to Me is like an idea, right?
Yeah. And it's not it's like it has like Talk to Me has like an energy to it that like this movie never achieves. Like,
Yeah.
you know
What's
what I
the idea
mean?
in Shelby
Um
Oaks? The devil is just fucking
yeah,
hereditary.
that
Like
it's that's what I like to me the only way to like pick apart this movie is to pick apart the script, which I don't think that there is a good choice in the writing of this movie. Like I'm not sure that any decision made on the writing level is like succeeds at all. Like it like blew my mind how stupid the movie was. Because what I will say, and I don't know if you even agree, maybe this is just like me because I'm a fucking scaredy cat. But like there was like a couple scenes and I don't even think they're good scenes. I don't know that they're directed well. I don't even think that they're written well. But at the very least, there are a couple scenes where he knows how to build some kind of tension out of them. And like and a lot of it relies on like the most tropey horror shit in the world and it's like loud and big jump scares, but like the settings, like some of the locations, I'm like this is uh, obviously like there's room here to like set a mood, how to like orchestrate a jump scare, kind of like it's like I was like scared sometimes is the point. um like aside from that like very bare minimum requirement, every other choice I'm just like what, like even the scares themselves like only work if you separate them from the context of the movie, because the actual like material surrounding the scares is so stupid. It's like hard to watch because of how dumb it is. And the entire time I'm watching the movie, if you give me any like breathing room to think about what is happening, I am thinking awful terrible things. Like
I think that, man, this is too much. People are gonna hate this fucking podcast. Like people,
no, but listen,
people are gonna hate this podcast.
I posted a negative TikTok about this movie thinking that people would respond negatively, and I think a lot of people watching this movie are similarly frustrated. Like I actually really don't think that as much as people like Chris Stuckman, I don't know that people are really going to disagree with us. Like,
So you say I okay. He builds tension, right? Which I would call anticipation for jump scares. Which
sure. And that's what I mean. I don't
yeah.
like
um,
I'm not saying that he's doing it successfully. I'm
yeah.
saying that it exists in the
He
movie.
he builds anticipation for jump scares, but then once he creates the scare, right?
Mhm.
It feels like what's the word? Like a ruined orgasm.
Sure.
Like
Okay.
um, uh because I was thinking about James Wan, right?
Okay.
About the Conjuring movies, even like the whatever, like the guy that directed the last two Conjuring movies, and how those movies have to operate in a similar function where it's like they have to build like this like this tone from like filmmaking and aesthetics, right? And then and then below that, after like this baseline of tone, they have to like create these moments of like tension where the audience is anticipating the jump scare, right? That's how like those kind of like popcorn like genre horror movies work, right? Uh and the best moments with The Conjuring is like the jump scare hits and then it's a scary image at the end of the jump scare, right? It's
Yes.
like you don't know what you're
This is a problem.
anticipating, and then at
Yeah.
the end, and then in The Conjuring you see like something like I don't know what I was expecting, but that is not it,
Got
and
it.
that was
Yeah.
fucking scary.
Yeah.
And this, it's like there was one moment where I was like, oh, this is like okay, like I don't know what's gonna happen, but like we're building up to something, right? That I am anticipating is going to be scary.
Yeah.
It's her in the jail cell, which also on a narrative level, why the fuck did she it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Everything the
Yeah.
main character does
Well,
doesn't make any sense.
we'll get there.
But, like, she's in the jail cell, right? And it's like she's, like, just sta like, that whole moment, it was like, okay, like, something scary is gonna happen, right? Something fucked up and because you know, you could tell, right? So I'm anticipating, like, okay,
Yeah.
what's the scary moment going to be, right? And then, like, oh, we hear banging, and it's like, "Oh, fuck," like, and then she's just looking into, like, this black nothingness, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and then it's the close up of a dog, and then it's a fucking like a demon hand, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like a CGI hand, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay,
And it's
okay,
and it's not just that, like, and also, like, also on the subject of what you're saying about, like, the images, it's like, whenever the devil shows up in this movie, I'm like,
it looks really
Jesus fucking
bad.
Christ. I'm like, it looks awful. But it's also that, like, scares like, movies are just scarier if they're connected to something meaningful, you know? It's like, if you mentioned The Conjuring, it's like, if you make us care about the characters, then we're more scared when scary shit happens to the characters.
Yeah,
But if the writing sucks ass, then the scares are like what you said. It's like it's just the anticipation you have for the fact that something scary is going to happen. But like it's not it like lasts like that. Like it's over because you're not like I'm not actually worried that like at no point in this movie am I like worried that something's gonna happen to anybody because like I don't give a shit. Like it's so dumb. And
yeah, it's like, what there's one character in the movie, is that
yeah,
one character going to die? Is that you
yeah.
know what I mean? Is that one character? You know, it's like,
Like her husband, oh my god, who thought to write that like that? Well, he did apparently, but it's like what are you doing? And again, it's like some of it is like these people aren't doing the best acting, but some of it is that like maybe they can't because you know, it's like that's not a character. Like that's not like a you know, it's like
yeah,
it's not even an idea for a character. It's like it's so vague and awful and
it's unfortunate because we have I would say probably subpar actors. In a horror movie, that's fine, right? But it's like subpar actors kind of working with like really kind of poor material. I think in
yeah.
terms of like the words they have to say
Yeah,
and
it's bad.
the things that they have to do.
It also, like speaking of the words they have to say, it, like, does that, like, true crime, like, interview setup, and then
Hmm.
it abandons it, but then sometimes it goes back to it, like, sometimes you know that it's, like, a person talking to her, like, towards the end of the movie, the person, like, talks to her again with the camera, but
Yeah,
then there are just, like, scenes throughout the movie where the way that they're talking makes it sound like they're revealing information to the camera in a documentary, but you know that they're no longer doing the documentary part.
right.
And then it gets really confusing because I'm like, why did you write like people don't the way people talk in a documentary is not how they talk in any other conversation that they have. You know what I mean? Like the way that they describe events and like what is happening is catered to the fact that they're participating in a documentary. And then the like characters will talk and the documentary is not happening. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why does it sound like that? And then I feel bad for the actors because I'm like, you shouldn't have to say that. Like, it's, you know, so it's like tough on that level. Like, the dialogue is just written terribly. But that is like, to me, not even close to like the biggest writing sin that he makes. Like, it's like the
Mhm.
dialogue is like nothing compared to how poorly it is written narratively, where like they're just kind of throwing ideas at the wall. Like this feels to me like a guy who has like been trying to make a feature film for a while, and 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 he sits down and he's like, I'm gonna like this is like if 10 years ago I sat down and I was like, I'm gonna make a horror movie, and for the next 10 years, anytime I like had an idea for a script, I wrote it down right, and then at the end of that 10 years, when I start writing the script, I just take all of the ideas for separate movies that I wrote down and put them all into one script. Like that, you know what I mean? It's like scene by scene. There's like the devil shit, and then it's like the abandoned places, and then it's like and like all of it is just like how do I get to this place so I could do this thing? And then, and it's like the creepy old lady at the end, and then it's like all of this, like these are just like ideas that exist, and he just like fucking tied them all up together and put them in the same story. And I'm like, none of these like work in conjunction with each other. Like,
Yeah, it's very strange. It's interesting because like that that can also work in its own way. I know that this is
sure,
not the same thing because like Eli Roth like has made a bunch of movies, but like Owen always says that Thanksgiving, right? It feels like a guy has spent his whole life coming up with kills for a slasher movie and then put all of them in one movie, right? Um and like that
yeah,
like so it's like if you have a lot of great ideas, right? And you could
sure, put them all in the same movie.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, but it's like he has like a bunch of like different kind of like
like,
okay narrative ideas.
but it's not even that they're. The problem is that all of his great ideas are like, I watched this movie and I want to make a movie like this movie. And then he puts
Bro,
all of the movies together. And
so when
that's not like,
she goes to the library to investigate, and then we get it's like a one-to-one recreation of, like, Bella from Twilight researching about vampires. Did you notice that?
yeah, it's like that's what I mean. It's like every even like I don't know, like it's just really silly. I saw someone mention they mentioned Fincher's Zodiac in the basement scene, and I'm like, yeah, this is like Zodiac if it was this is like if I saw Zodiac, like I saw that scene and I was like, I need to put like I need to do something like that in a movie. And it's like shit from a butt. Like it's like it's all but that's like every scene is like there's like not really a part of the movie that stands alone as like its own invention, you know? Like I
Um,
with like few exceptions, I guess. I will say, and again, that's why I really liked the first 15 minutes of the movie, especially in retrospect now, is like there's something there that he understands. Like when he is like setting up the stakes of like these are paranormal investigators and they have a YouTube channel and only when they went missing did they blow up on YouTube and like people are really curious about this. I'm like, "Oh, this is a guy who has spent his whole life who has been on YouTube since it started. Like he understands the culture surrounding it. He can make a movie like with this idea and then like what it turns into is just, like, not at all what I would expect from that setup. Like, I'm just like, "There's a better movie there."
yeah, it's I would say I think that maybe he teases an interesting, question about the world where it's like, okay, what if ghosts were real, you know? What if ghosts were real and it's like something that we can't understand. Like let me instead of what if ghosts were real. What if there's something that we can't understand that these people like tampered with, right? You
Right.
know, it's like on a high level. And then but then it kind of goes from that, which is like inherently intriguing into like, oh, what if the devil is real? And
Yeah.
what like not only is like I don't know, it's like bro, like we've seen Hereditary. Hereditary did what if the devil was real, okay?
Yeah.
Perfectly,
I mean,
really
so did,
well.
like, 400 other movies, you know?
I know, but like I like specifically where
But
it's like
obviously, like, Hereditary is, like, the frame of reference in the
yeah,
modern
like
day.
Rosemary's Baby also, but Rosemary's Baby did it differently, right?
Yeah.
It's like Rosemary's Baby is also like, oh, what if the devil is real? And okay, what about this? Because we're talking about like, it being derivative. The First Omen, right?
Right.
That's
I was
just
thinking about
a
that.
remake of Rosemary's Baby, a reimagining of Rosemary's Baby.
Right.
Um, that movie is so inventive in so many different ways. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you could just rip some shit. Like the first one just rips Rosemary's Baby's whole shit, but then
Yeah.
it creates like these scenes and situations and like techniques and ideas in filmmaking that like no other horror movie has done. Like straight
Yeah.
up, right? I
No,
don't think
I
I'm
know.
talking about
I mean, no, I literally yesterday when I was, like, thinking about doing this podcast episode, I was thinking about The First Omen, and I was like, "This is, like, the exact comparison you make." Like, this is, like, if we're looking at the 2 opposite ends of the spectrum of, like, what you're doing, it is, like, this on one end and The First Omen on the other end. Like, they could not be, like, more the same and entirely different. Like There,
Yeah,
you know?
and then also, like, in the first Omen, I think about when she's locked up in that fucking cellar, right? And then it's revealed that, like, oh, she's not alone in the cellar, and it's like, "Oh, that's fucking scary," right? And now there's, like, a bunch of anticipation where it's like, what else is in there with her? And then it does reveal what's in there with her, and then it's fucking also scary.
Yeah,
It's like, "Oh, that's sca" like, it was scary before I knew what it was, and it was scary after I knew what it was. And this nothing in this movie is scary after you know what it is, you
yeah.
know?
No, yeah, that's it's a real problem the movie has is just like I don't know, and I'm really like again, I'm really fascinated by the setup. Like I'm somebody who like used to do something not dissimilar from what is happening in this
Yeah, used to
movie,
go to a
where
lot
it's
of
like
abandoned places.
yeah, it's like that
Yeah.
was my like in high school especially, this was like my thing. It was like a group of my friends and I would go to abandoned places like all over the area, like to tons and tons of them. And they are fucking creepy. Like creepy shit happens there. They are like ripe for scary movies to be made about them. I'm shocked more movies don't utilize the idea of abandoned place. I would love to make a movie about abandoned places because I think they're fascinating. I think it's like so interesting that some history happened at this place, and then it's like you're like going back in history in the present, um, and even just like as a ghost movie, like it's like like even just like the idea of paranormal investigating, I'm like they don't. It ends up not being part of the movie. Like it's like that's just the
Yeah,
setup
they're
for
paranormal investigators, and then it's like a yeah, it's like a
yeah.
devil
It's
cult. Yeah.
right. It's like that's not what it is at all. And the devil cult is like you know vague and not explained. Like, there's no real answers to any of like the lore of the movie, which like sure movies don't have to do that, but
Well, yeah, I
I
well, okay.
think
It's
I think
about
it's like
the devil, like, the demon, like, devil guy in the movie, he's just, like, using it's like a higher level of, he's, like, pulling strings of reality to, like, use people to, like, get this
sure,
kid, you know?
yeah,
Um,
which is true. Like we get. I'm not saying we don't like. I'm not saying you can't piece together what's happening. I just think on like a motivation level, it's just like not very interesting that it's like a cult
yeah, no.
and that we're just like not really learning about that cult. Like the cult's not an aspect of the movie until it's revealed. Everything is just like every piece of information in the movie is just like very convenient, where it's like it feels like you're going through the script with him, and it's like and like this like you write it in order, and it's like this comes up, so now we have to explain this so that this can come up, so that we have to do that, and then like you get to the end of the movie, and it's like nothing is like yeah, like you said, like nothing's inventive about it. Like there's like I don't know, it's just like everything is like exactly where it's supposed to fit. It's like a perfect puzzle, but like that's boring and lame and like not how you should make a movie where you're already piecing together the puzzle, like using previous puzzle pieces, like using other movies and ideas. Um, I don't know. I just think there should be more to it, and there's just nothing to it really. Like, and I think on the subject of like Chris Stuckman, a lot of people, um, who saw the early reactions, like a lot of people who are fans of his and like wanted to go see the movie, would be online being like, "Oh, like is like everybody's talking shit about this script, but it's like is he a promising director?" And I'm like it's hard to gauge at all like what like there's not he's giving us nothing. Like it's like it's you know what I mean? It's like of course I want him to succeed, and the thing is like I'm sure he will, it's like I'm sure he'll get to make another movie at
Yeah, this
minimum.
movie was produced
um
by Mike Flanagan,
Yeah,
like,
it's like
yeah.
I'm sure he'll get to make another movie. That's not the problem here, but it's like when someone asks me if it's promising, I'm like, I don't really know like what in this movie to point to that would suggest that it is. Like I think I just need to see an entirely different movie from him. And
On a
and
f
then,
on a formal level, right? I would say no. There's
yeah,
nothing done exceptional. There's nothing that is done in this movie that any other director that went to film school wouldn't be able to accomplish with a similar budget and resources, you know?
yeah,
And I think about even like again filmmaker, but I think they have to be brought up like filmmakers that we don't even like the Filippo brothers,
yeah,
right? It's like they are more talented on just on a formal level,
Yeah,
right? They are more capable formally. The last movie, not Talk to Me, what is it?
bring
It's
her back.
Bring Her Back. Not a very good movie, right? But there's stuff going on in that movie, like
Yeah,
filmmaking happening in that movie that in ways that there isn't filmmaking happening in this movie, right?
yeah,
I think maybe somebody would argue, like, push back against that. And then, so like on that level, it's like, yeah, it's like there's nothing, he's just another guy. But then about the ideas, right? All of the ideas in the movie, I would say, like, anything that's interesting, he's like not interested in. That is brought. Does that make
yeah.
sense? It's brought up in the movie. Like the towards the beginning, there's that clip of the character that gets kidnapped, Brianna, she there's that clip of her, like, and like sitting in front of like the her laptop, right? It's like a camcorder, like,
Riley
recording.
is her name,
Riley.
I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
Riley. She and it's like all like fucked up and corrupted, and it's her like like yelling in the camera. It's like,
right.
that's a scary image to me. Like, I think that's like not
Yeah,
like
sure.
that's not like exceptionally powerful, but it's like a notable and scary image. I think that he
Yeah,
does everything he can to deflate the power of that image in the context of the movie.
yeah.
um
No, that's
it's
a good
I don't know,
point.
like, it's stuff like that where it's like, oh, this is a good idea, and then it's like, oh, but you're not interested in this good idea. You're interested in something else. Like,
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. That is a good way to really sum up a lot of my problems with the movie. I just yeah, I don't know, it's just hard. It's hard to watch, and it's hard to, like, tell somebody that there's anything there. I'm like, there really isn't. I don't know. And I don't like that. I even like think of scenes where I'm just like, I don't, yeah, like you said, like even on a filmmaking level, like I just don't love it. There's like a scene. I mean, that stuff when the old woman shows up at the end and she's like in her house. Some of like what leads up to that basement um is framed and edited like so strangely
Mhm.
where I'm like, this is like the exact opposite of how I feel like this should be playing out if you were going to achieve something with like this setup for like a horror scene. Like yeah, I don't know. It's just stuff like that where I'm like I don't really know if he showed me anything. But
The stuff with the old woman where, our main character first sees her, and, like, she turns off her flashlight, and then it cuts to the old woman, and she's, like,
yeah.
shrouded in darkness. That's a cool idea. It's a very small idea, right? And then nothing is, like, kinda played off of it in a meaningful way,
That's
but, like, you know what I mean?
That's the stuff too, where it's like, I agree. I think that is a cool idea. And that's the stuff too, where when we talk about somebody like the Filippo brothers, like I've said the same thing, where it's like, I think that there are certain things that they are good at, and it's not what they like they're not interested in making a movie that I'm going to enjoy, like that I'm going
Right.
to think is good. And so the stuff that they are good at, like doesn't matter to me because we're just like they've made it obvious that like we're just not going to see eye to eye on like what we care about as far as like filmmaking goes. So it's like you're saying about this movie. And again, I don't want to come to conclusions after one movie. Maybe he just like makes a good one after this. I don't know. But like the point is like what's in this movie that is good feels like what you're saying, which is that it's not I don't know that he recognizes how to like explore that meaningfully and like play into that stuff. Like I don't know that he is going to take the good stuff, drop the bad stuff and make the next movie more of the good stuff. Like I and maybe he will, but like yeah, that's like the only way that I could like frame it as like this is a person with promise is if he realizes what is good and what is bad and then and then uses the good stuff. But if the next movie is like this, then I would be saying the same thing that I said about the Filippo brothers, which is that maybe he's just not going to make movies for me. So,
Yeah,
um,
after, I mean, after the second Filippo brother movie, I literally, I said, like, I don't think these guys will have the capacity to make it a good movie, like, straight
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Um,
But I don't know. Maybe Chris Stuckman does. But all we know is that this one is bad, and it's really
yeah,
bad.
this one's bad.
Um,
Literally, like, no reason to watch this movie more than once. Like,
yeah,
truly. Yeah.
for real. Okay. Our next movie is made by a much more capable director. No offense to Chris Stuckman.
That's
uh,
great. Yeah, well, yeah, a filmmaker,
Blue
40
Moon.
years into his career.
Yeah,
Um,
Blue Moon, directed by Richard Linklater, one of our favorite directors here on the podcast. I think among all three of us. This movie fucking rocks. This
it's
movie was
yeah,
so lovely. Um,
yeah.
I had a great time watching this.
Yeah. I so I'm having a hard time even in my head wrapping this is how you know it's a really good movie. Because I'm having a hard time in my head even wrapping around like, oh, like how great is it really? Because like I don't like, I'm not picking up on all of the references. Like the guy like Larry Hart. Uh I'm not even like super familiar with his work. Like it's funny. I've seen all of the musicals that like Oklahoma and Onward, right? That he
Mhm.
wasn't a part of. I don't think I've seen any of the musicals that he did right. So,
Yeah,
like I'm just like so not familiar with him at all.
yeah.
Um, but so I'm like, how much of this is just like nerdy reference nonsense, and how much of it is like invented? Because like all of these people in the movie are like real people, right? Um,
Not only are they real people, I this isn't like the biggest conversation, but like it's so cool and funny how they just incorporate like some of the biggest names who have ever existed in like the world of art, and they're just like cameos that like you have to just like know the thing that they're referencing to know that they are EB White who
yeah,
wrote Stuart Little, and then
yeah.
they have a line about a rat named Stuart, and it's like and then George Roy Hill is there.
Yeah, bro,
um
fucking, Stephen Sondheim is in the movie.
Stephen Sondheim
He's that
as a
little kid
kid
as that little
is in
kid.
the movie. Yes, I just which is crazy. The George Roy Hill thing, even they reference it. It's like, um, uh, for listeners of the pod, George Roy Hill directed Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, among like
Yes, I'm
whatever
happy
other
you
movies,
picked up on this,
and
yeah.
and and then they have like the line like he like asks him for advice, and he's like, make movies about friendship and not love, and then it's like one of the best movies about friendship. It's very funny to like throw all those lines in there with these like super famous people. Um, but that's like a side point. That's like a tangent from what makes the movie so great.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. One of the most well-performed movies that you will ever watch this year.
yeah, Ethan Hawke is just like he's just doing exceptional work.
Ethan Hawke is such an interesting performer, and I think that it's something that him and Linklater, tap into, or like Linklater has him tap into, and like frames these movies around so well to uh turn this what could be like a negative thing in an Ethan Hawke performance into like the point of the movie, where like Ethan Hawke is an annoying guy, you know? He's like, like in real life, like he's kind of an annoying guy, and like he has this like smugness of like I'm really smart, right? And like I know that I'm really smart about it. And like that's a part of like the Before trilogy, you know? And that's like such a big part of this movie too,
Yeah,
where it's like he's such a big role, and his character is like takes up all of the space. He's a little guy that takes up so much space. And
yeah,
all he wants to do is like people to admire him and tell stories, basically.
yeah. No, yeah. It's interesting that you bring that up because it's like obviously Richard Linklater is like one of the only he's, like, smart enough to perceive Ethan Hawke that way and, like, leverage it in performance in ways that make just, like, some of the best movies we've ever seen, so, yeah, that's fascinating, and yeah, and Ethan Hawke's just so good, like, I mean, even a lot of the supporting cast, I really liked, like there are people that I just really like in general in this movie,
Well, yes.
um,
Yeah.
but like, seeing them in this context, I'm just like, they are so g I thought, like, when Andrew Scott shows up and he has, like, this, like, the very first moment when Andrew Scott shows up and he comes up to him and he's like, like, "I wanna do this together," and, like, "But you need to not be drinking," and I was just like,
I'm gonna
I
cry
like,
even you
I
bringing
that
that scene up.
scene, b like, broke my heart, dude. I was like, "This
It's
is"
like Bro, that conversation between Andrew Scott and Ethan Hawke when when he's like, hey, like, I'm not gonna drink with you. Like, I have this idea,
Yeah,
okay? It's like the saddest movie scene in any movie ever. It's so
yeah,
sad.
yeah.
Um,
No, it really, yeah, it it really got me that part. Really, just I mean, like every scene with Andrew Scott kind of had that effect, where like every time they talk, you're kind of just like, and even like, man, when he like actually gets sentimental and like congratulates Andrew Scott and like tells him that he's proud of him, I was just like, man, he is like begging for like some, you know what I mean? Like he just like
it's
he
so
want
it's so sad because Andrew Scott's character is, like, not dumb, like, he's smart, like, he knows, like, this is the biggest musical of my career, right? It's
yeah,
this is, like, I am more successful now than I have ever been, right?
yeah,
But it's, like, so it's, like, he recognize and it's, like, and I have like, more work with my new partner now, so
yeah,
it's, like, he recognizes that it's, like, he doesn't need any of this, right? He doesn't
yeah,
need to work with Larry, but he likes Larry, like, as a person and, like, respects him
yeah.
and is, like, "Hey, like, you know, I want
Not
to
just
work with
that, but it's
you."
like he also
Like,
recognizes his talent, and
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
what makes it so sad. Like he is like he's so aware. I think like we could talk about like some of the ideas of the movie, but I think the way that it like frames genius is like so interesting. Just like I don't know, because it's not like I don't think it's a foreign concept. This idea that like people often who are like geniuses are bad at everything else in life, you know? Like it's very common for people to be geniuses and then have like sad fucking lives and like can't even like succeed socially. And but it's interesting how like this one like there's it doesn't like give you a right answer about how to measure it, and everybody's perception is different, and it makes it feel like it's like, oh, like because for example, obviously like Ethan Hawke or Larry, like for most of the beginning of the movie when it's just like him talking to people like before everybody shows up after, he's just kind of like shitting on all this other art. Like it's like this guy is like a genius who's just like who like thinks he's smarter than all these people, like X, Y, and Z, and he's like, this is bad, and like Oklahoma like sucked. Like I had to leave. I couldn't even watch it. It's like terrible. And then Andrew Scott comes in and then they bring up this idea of like, oh, if everybody's packing the house to watch Oklahoma and like losing their minds over it, then like who are you to say that it's bad? Which is interesting. I mean, these are conversations that we have all the time. There are plenty of movies that we talk about just like him, where it's like everybody's loving this movie and we think it's shitty. And but then it's also like the genius of Andrew Scott to be like to recognize that. Like it's like it takes a level of genius and like social skills to be like, oh, I am just going to make movies like that. Like it's like that people are gonna like and talk about and like stand the test of time. And it's like nobody's disputing whether or not Oklahoma is like a brilliant piece of art or like has stood the test of time. It has, So it's like, um, so like in that sense, it's fascinating. And then you get the Sondheim character as like this little kid, where like Ethan Hawke thinks that he's like this fucking thinks that he's like better than everybody, and this little kid shows up and he's like, no, like his writing sucks.
Well, yeah, the little kid is
Yeah,
like, I think that
yeah,
Hammerstein is better than you, right?
yeah,
And to Ethan Hawke is like, that's, like, so clearly untrue, right? But he
right,
but he's like, "No," and
yeah,
obviously, like, so many people in real life, so many people prefer Hammerstein to Hart's writing, like, lyrics,
yeah.
right? Um,
And that's what I think is interesting is like this idea of like how do you measure genius? It's like how do you like because it's not just like a movie about a genius who like has a sad life. It's like also a movie about like is he a genius or like are these other people? It's like because you're comparing like great art to other great art. Even the movie even like opens with quotes from people that knew him and had two completely different perceptions of like the person that he was. You know what I mean? So it's like it's fascinating that it's like stacking people up against each other, because that's true of art in any period of time, is that like some of the greatest artists had awful opinions about some of the other greatest artists. And sometimes we feel the same way. It's like sometimes we love certain artists and think they're some of the greatest artists, and then we think that other people who everybody loves are shit, you know? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I think it's really interesting for the movie to frame it that way instead of like stopping at like here's a sad genius. It's also like it's just like more complex than that.
I
Um
it is more, and it's like something the movie, 'cause even like, Larry Hart's character, right? Like, it's so acknowledged in the movie that the real genius in this world is, Richard Rogers, played by Andrew Scott. Like, he's the actual, like, untouchable genius,
yeah,
right? And even, like, Larry is, like, like, he's such a it's like, Larry's like, "I'm a genius," like, in one way, but it's like, "Oh, like, but he's like a genius even in like another way," right? And like everybody's like, he's so successful, he's the person everybody wants to be,
yeah,
um and the conversations that they have together where Larry is like, you don't really want to do Oklahoma, right? And Andrew Scott's like, no, this is like, he says like, what's your dream musical? He's like, hey, let me write your dream musical. What's your dream musical? Let's work together again. And Andrew Scott just looks at him and he's like, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is my
yeah,
dream musical. And then they're sitting on the stairs, and like the backdrop of World War II is so important because like because it's like like Richard Rogers lives in the real world, right? And sees what's
yeah,
going on in a way that Larry just cannot. Larry like lives in his own head. And he does
yeah,
not live in the real world. So like Richard Rogers is able to see, he's like, no, like this is what people want. Like this is what the
right,
people like people need. People need like a traditional like love story about America with a hero that people can root for and that makes them feel good. And he's like, this is what like needs to be made right now. And like sentimental is like like it's important to be sentimental. And then Larry is like, no. He's just out
right,
of touch, right? Just showing like he's so because he
yeah,
doesn't live in the real world, he lives in his own head, which I think that sometimes even anybody can get like we do that sometimes,
of course.
Um,
Yeah, I think we're guilty of like 90% of what's happening in this movie, but that doesn't like, you know, self-awareness also goes a long way.
right.
Um, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. All of it's just like, and then like even just like their conversations about collaboration, like that's really what like gets where it's like you're like because it's like even the people on the margins, like even like these conversations that he has with the Evie White character,
Mhm.
I'm just like, man, that's like so fascinating to me that he just like sees this great writer and he's like, dude, I love your essays. And they're like, I don't know, it's just like it's just really good stuff. I'm just like, I think I think the and it's so funny to like be talking about this in contrast to Shelby Oaks, that like those are the two movies we're talking about, because like you really can't like get a better script than this year. Like it's like I mean they're I'm not saying it's my favorite script of the year, but like this is just like it's like it's everything you want out of this movie. Like it's like there's nothing that you change about how this is written. You just like
Yeah, no,
you
and
can't.
this yeah, it's, incredibly well written. Obviously, I mean, this is one of those things that Linklater, like, sat on for, like, years and years and years and years and, like,
Yeah.
rewrote and, like, wrote
Yeah.
again.
And has
Um,
like really dedicated a lot of time to. And you can tell. That's the thing,
yeah.
like I don't know, it's also just like this is the thing I love about Richard Linklater movies, but it's just like you can tell, you know? It's like like what he loves about filmmaking and like what he values is like all on the screen. Like it's like you were getting a Richard Linklater movie.
I think maybe my favorite moment in the movie is, again, if you get I think I've maybe said this on the podcast before. I think that, like, Andrew Scott might be the best actor in the world. He just, like, he just
Yeah.
isn't in movies, but he might be the
Yeah.
best actor in the world.
Yeah, it's like one of
Um,
those unrecognized talents because the quality of the product is not
yeah.
does not match the talent.
Yeah, but he's so good in this. But it's like Andrew Scott's character tells Ethan, so Larry is like, "Hey, I have this great idea for a Marco Polo epic. It's gonna be 4 hours long with the dinner break, and he's like, and he just like he's like fucking word vomiting to Richard, and Richard's like, hey, if listen, I'll do it, right? But like you have to be willing to like write it on a schedule that you keep, and then you have to be willing to then rewrite it and then work on it on a schedule and write it again. And it's like, man, I've been both of these people in this conversation.
Yeah.
Like I've been the person with the idea of word vomiting, like not willing to work on, like not actually willing to work on it.
Yeah.
Then I've been on the other person where somebody's like super excited for an idea, and I'm like, yeah, but like you have to, we have to put in some work though. It's not like easy to
Yeah.
do this, you know. So like, there's so much just about like creating in this movie. It's so
Yeah.
interesting. Like,
No, yeah. That stuff is so good. What did you think about the location being
a hotel bar.
this well, that and also just the fact that we kind of spend the entire movie there.
Oh yeah, um, really good. It plays, the movie plays with time in a really interesting way, where it's he does another uh it's similar to um Before Sunset, where the whole movie is kind of taking place in real time, basically, where there's
Yeah.
like no time jumps. It's just like Larry walking around from one conversation to another in real time. It's like we're just with them for an hour and a half. Basically, it's like an hour and a half of this evening.
Yeah.
And it's just like Larry fucking jumping around from person to person to person. It's like a difficult thing to write, I think. It's like
Yeah.
because it's all dialogue, and it's like super, I don't know if fast paced is the right word, but it's like it's super well paced, right? And it's like
Mhm.
and Linklater, he's keeping the thing at tempo. It's like a song that he's keeping at tempo the whole time. Like what do you
Yeah.
think?
No, I agree. I think it's super well paced, and I think it's like yeah, everything just like progresses in this way that flows so well, where you're like never you're not even really like questioning the time. I thought it was interesting, like how things play, like when things stop and start, because like I didn't realize like how much, for example, it would be him talking about Margaret Qualley and Andrew Scott and whoever, like, before they ever even, like, show up at the bar.
He's like the
Like,
first
how
half
much of
hour
it
of the
is just
movie.
him. Yeah, and it's like and it just goes like that. Like, you're like, "Oh, this is just, like, setup," and it, like and I honestly, like, I could've watched the full movie, like, before they showed up. Like, I could've it could've just been a conversation with him and the people already at the bar, and and so, like, in that respect, it's, like, it's interesting, like, how things come and go, and even, like, when Margaret Qualley shows up, it's like you get the conversation, and then she goes upstairs, and then you get way more conversation about her before she gets introduced back into the story again. Um, yeah, I just like that stuff's really interesting to me too. Then you get, like, the scene with the 2 of them in the coat room, and it's just like, geez. That is also so good.
Yeah,
Um,
really despicable. It reminds me like that joke where it's like, man, uh being in high school like being in high school sucks. Like how like all the girls my age are, I mean, like competing against like the president of the United States for girls my age, you know? It's like you're like a fucking sophomore at Yale, and you're like, I'm competing against fucking Larry Hart for girls my age, you know? It's like, what the hell? Um,
that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that stuff was, like, really tough to watch and, like, really
yeah,
heartbreaking.
it's uncomfortable and sad.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, all of it's, like, really sad. Um,
The
but
whole movie's so sad. The whole like it's like this goes into where you don't even need to know anything about the history of musical theater to really pick up on it's it being so like so sad, because at the end of the movie it's they say like, yeah, yeah, Larry and Hart and Rogers, they like never make another musical together. But
yeah,
then Rogers and Hammerstein,
go on to be, like,
the
the most
greatest musical
successful.
duo of all
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, that's sad.
It's
It's
yeah,
sad.
it's so tough. Yeah, and even, like Well, they do say that he goes on like, he writes the
Yeah,
songs,
like the 4 songs for
which
the
is like
revival of their old musical.
well, it's like, that's so sad. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, to just think about, like, that stretch of months between, like, what we're watching and what the movie opens with, which is, like, him dying.
Mhm.
It is just, like that's, like, soul-crushing stuff to think about.
Yeah, that's
Um,
another part of this, um, really good movie about alcoholism.
yeah, which we didn't
Um,
even talk about at all, but that was, like, such a key part of the movie.
yeah, really, really, it's not, like, the best movie about alcoholism I've ever seen, but, like, it's a really good movie about alcoholism.
Yeah,
We're at talking about, like, how, like, in subtle ways, how, like, alcoholics kind of work and how what their mindsets are, and then
yeah,
also how they're going to die. They're just going to
yeah.
die, and it's sad.
And all of it without, like, having to do the, like, big, bold, flashy, annoying shit that you expect from a movie about addiction. You know, it's
Yeah.
like not just alcoholism, but any addiction is
Mhm.
like really, you know, almost always consists of big acting and like big scenes and like some giant dramatic moment and like Ethan Hawke just gets all of that across without needing a scene like that ever in the
Yeah.
movie. You know,
Yeah.
like that's just not part of it for him. And it's like it's more compelling that way too than it is to watch somebody just like have this big breakdown and be like, I'm a fucking alcoholic. It's like, you know,
Yeah, it's well,
like it's just better.
yeah, dude, I mean, fucking when Andrew Scott when Larry is like, "Listen, I'm off the wagon," like lying, just like lying, which alcoholics do. Like, "I'm off the wagon, I'm not drinking, right? Except for right now, because I need to drink with you to celebrate." And then Andrew Scott, like, pauses the fucking universe and is like, "I'm not drinking with you. Like, are you
Yeah.
fucking crazy?" Like, it's so good.
Yeah. And I also like on the subject of how fucking heartbreaking it is, I feel like we'd have to mention that it's also just like kind of really fucking funny.
Oh, yeah.
There was like there was like so many scenes in the movie where I like not even scenes, but just like specific lines in the movie where I just like kind of lost my mind. And that how funny they were. When he's in the bathroom and he fucking he takes a piss and then he starts talking to someone. And then he's like he's like, urination for me is a two-act play with a brief intermission. And he just fucking walks back over to the urinal and keeps pissing. I'm like, that's a really fucking funny thing to say. Like that's so funny.
Yeah.
Um, or like the Bradley Beach. Like I thought I don't know. Maybe like other people don't think he's like the most terrific actor. I thought Bobby Cannavale was like so fun in this movie, and he's like talking to him about whatever, and then he mentions like Bradley Beach in New Jersey, and Bobby Cannavale is like, I used to play hide the sausage with a girl from Bradley. It's just it's really fucking silly. On top of how, you know, and this is always the case, I think, is that like all the most heartbreaking movies involve comedy in some regard because it just fucking makes it more painful. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to mention about the movie. What's this how does this stack up against Richard Linklater movies for you?
Oh,
We've done a whole podcast ranking Richard Linklater movies in the past.
yeah. My favorite Linklater is, Before Sunset. I think that's just kind of a perfect movie in some ways. Um, but, I don't know. I think that I certainly like Before Sunset more. After that, it's like it could be number 2. But, I also like Scanner Darkly a lot. It's, like, up there with that, so I'm not sure. It's like up there with Scanner Darkly and Before Sunrise. So, like, in the 2 to 4 range, probably. Where is it for you? I mean, it's not, like, at the top for you, but
It's not at the top for me, but I have like very clear like tier with a guy like Richard Linklater, which I think is true of most of my favorite directors. It's like the absolute like tier 1 is just like absolute favorite movie ever status, and then tier 2 is just everything else where it's like all the other stuff is like still great. And I would say that it is, like, at the height, like, at the top of, like, that tier too, where I'm like, if I'm comparing it to all the stuff I like, except for my, like, Dazed and Confused, one of my, like, 10 to 20 favorite movies ever. Like, yeah, that's, you can't really compete. The whole Before trilogy, also 3 of my favorite movies ever. I'm very partial to Where'd You Go, Bernadette, which is like, I mean, how many people like that movie? But I love that movie. But like those 5 movies, like those are like some of my favorite movies ever. Blue Moon could be like right after those, you
Right.
know? Like I think it's very possible that out of all the other movies, like it's competing for the top spot at least. Um yeah, and I have a feeling I'll probably think more of it as time passes, especially like if I get to watch it again. Because yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's like it's so sad, but it is like also a movie that I could probably watch like a lot. And even if I don't watch it a lot, it's a movie I think I could think about a lot. Just because of all the things we said. Like it's just very applicable to our lives as people who interact with and make art, you know?
Yeah,
It's you
yeah.
just so yeah, Blue Moon is very good. Shelby Oaks is not. Those are.
Blue moon,
Oh yeah, and when
na,
they
na,
sing, we didn't
na,
even really
na,
talk about when
na.
he sings, but I really like that part.
Yeah.
I
And
thought that was
it's
really
and he, like, he hates that song
and he
where he's
hates
like
it. Yeah, I
yeah,
know. And I'm like, this is oh, that's good.
yeah.
It's really good. Anyway, we're gonna talk about some news before we wrap up. But I want to remind everybody, of course, to share some feedback if you like listening to us talk about those 2 movies by liking, commenting, and subscribing on YouTube, by rating the episode on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or following us at all of our links in the description to keep up with the podcast. We've got some big news this week, I would say, starting with Joseph Kosinski's Miami Vice reboot has Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler in talks to stars Ricardo Tubbs and Sonny Crockett.
Yeah, that's kinda crazy.
Um, it is kind of fucking crazy. The Michael B. Jordan casting, it's like, I don't know, we could have seen this coming a
Like,
little
yeah,
bit,
the most famous
but
black guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
But and again, an actor I really fucking like, Michael
yeah,
B.
of
Jordan.
course.
But the Austin Butler casting, and again, also one of the most like likely people for this spot. But I saw a lot of like, oh, this is obviously gonna be like a Glenn Powell movie, you know what I mean? And I'm like, Austin Butler, I think fits this like so well. like
Did you
I
see
could
that
totally
Owen
see him.
said in one of our chats that, I'm putting him on blast 'cause he's not here, that he said that, Michael B. Jordan being in this movie takes away any interest he could have had in it?
That's a crazy thing to say. That's like such an insane thing to say. Um, but you know what? Good on you for putting him on blast. That's what he gets for not showing up this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I mean, I just disagree entirely. But also, I think that that's probably coming from a place of like it's a Joseph Kosinski movie. Like, it's like, is that really something that Owen would be interested in as much as you and I are?
No,
You
yeah,
know?
I think that, this might be good. I'm
Yeah,
interested.
I'm.
Yeah.
I am. I'm not like. The problem is, like, I don't think it's going to have, like, an interesting angle, you know? I think it's just, like, going to be a Joseph Kosinski movie, um,
Yeah.
but that's, like, fine
It's not gonna
if
have the swag and aura of the of the
Man one.
yeah, Michael Mann one. I almost said Michael
Yeah.
Bean. I was like, of the Michael Mann one. Um,
Yeah, and I haven't seen the TV show, um, but I guess that's really, like, the point that's, like, the point of adaptation,
yeah. Well,
is,
I
like,
mean,
the
the
TV
Michael Mann
show.
show was also a adaptation of
Yeah,
the TV show. Yeah.
yeah, um, but yeah, I don't know. I think I wanna watch Austin Butler in Miami. Like, I think I just kinda wanna see Austin Butler as, like, a Miami
That's the
detective,
other
you
thing
know? Like, I'm
where
like, that's, like I feel like he has, like, the swag for the role, you know?
I've said
Like
this before. I think Miami is just one of the best settings for a movie. I love it when movies take place
yeah.
in Miami. Like,
Yeah, you're wearing your Miami Heat jersey right
yeah,
now.
I am. Miami is just a sick fucking place to have your movie take place in.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like, I do think it's, like, base level, like, it's gonna check the boxes that we expect it to, but that could be, like, a perfectly enjoyable, like, movie experience, you know? I mean, that's what like, to me, that's what F1 was, where it's like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's
none
better than F1,
nothing
it's a win, you know?
yeah, and I liked F1, but it's like F1 is like base level stuff, you know what I mean? Where it's like obviously really good at directing the stuff that's exciting. I'm sure he'll be good at directing the stuff that's exciting in Miami Vice, and then everything else is not going to be that interesting, but that might be okay.
Yeah,
Like
well,
that,
the
you
performances,
know.
will probably be better in this Miami Vice
Sure.
movie than F1
Sure,
too.
sure.
Yeah.
But I just mean like interesting in terms of taking creative decisions. Like I don't know how many there will be, but it's also like who cares if he's really if he's just really good at making like the stuff that he
Mm.
knows how to make, then that's fine. We haven't talked about this piece of news, but this was the biggest piece of news for me this week. Charlotte Wells, the director of Aftersun, is working on a biopic about Blondie's iconic lead singer Debbie Harry. Harry stated that she wants Florence Pugh to play her, and Pugh said years ago that it was her dream role. Although that she hasn't been cast yet, but that's just those are conversations that have happened. Charlotte Wells, uh, a director whose follow up to After Sun I have been eagerly anticipating since watching After Sun. And I think a lot of people saw this news and were like, well, this sucks because it's a biopic. Uh,
Yeah,
I,
I saw
I
some
I
negative
didn't have that
reactions to this.
response.
I don't I think people, dare I say it's a very parasocial, reaction because I feel like the gut response is like, "Oh, obviously somebody like Charlotte Wells wouldn't wanna make a movie like this," and it's like, "Well, you don't know that." You know?
Yeah, it's like
You don't know her.
also that was the thing that I even think I said. I don't know if I said it on the podcast or if I just said it in private, but like when After Sun came out, I was like, this is this like incredible, like life-changing piece of art to me. And it's also like, I don't know what the fuck happens next. Cause it's like what do I know about Charlotte Wells? Nothing. You know, it's like she could have just made one brilliant movie. I mean, there are just people in the past who have made movies I really like and then not made any other good movies, you know? Like it's like, and I'm not saying that this movie is gonna be bad. I just think that like you can't be like, oh, she's making a biopic. It's like who like what do you mean she's making a bio? Like it's like that's not, you know, we don't know I don't know anything about her, like real details about her. Obviously, like that's something that we'll learn about her throughout the course of her career. But like, I don't know. It's not like making one good movie means you're above making a biopic. Like we don't and also it's not like biopics are inherently bad. I mean, obviously, like we all hate biopics right now, but plenty of people have made good biopics. And specifically, like when we talk about the era of biopics that we're in right now, they're made by people who aren't like like the highest quality of director. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But I think about like
yeah.
Malcolm X, and I'm like, nobody would, you know,
Yeah,
like nobody
Malcolm
would give
X.
Spike Lee shit for making Malcolm X because it's
Yeah,
Spike Lee
Spike
making
Lee
it.
made
So
great biopics. Gus Van Sant
yeah,
made, like, No Direction Home. Like,
yeah, like it's
yeah,
like people like good directors can make a good biopic, and also I think this is like kind of just a more interesting angle,
yeah,
like just like a more interesting subject than a lot of like the biopic. I just think a lot of what's boring and tired about the biopic subjects of today mostly is that they're just so obvious. And to me, this one is like a very famous person, but it's just like a little less obvious, you know? Like it's just a little more like, oh, I like I don't know that much about her. Like I would watch a bio I would like to learn more via biopic
yeah,
about
that
this
was
person
my
as opposed to like, you know, they're making a Michael Jackson biopic next year. It's like,
oh,
duh.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you know, it's like,
That was my thing with, Bob Dylan, where it's like,
yeah,
he's, like, a perfect subject for a movie like this, but you made, like, the most obvious version of, you know what I mean? You made it a movie about the one period in his life that everybody already knows about, and then he had,
yeah,
like, a career that lasted 50 years after that.
yeah.
Um,
No, I don't know. I
yeah.
think it's a little less obvious. I think it's and also it's like we don't know anything about the movie is the other thing. Like it's like who's to say that the angle is not different than
It could be a
every
painting
other
film.
biopic.
It could be like Sand Brockage.
Yeah. It's like I mean I don't know about that, but but you know what I mean? I'm like it's
Yeah.
like we don't know anything. And maybe it is like everybody's worst expectations, you know? Like maybe it is just a very standard biopic. Whatever, dude. You know? It's like Who cares? I mean, if she gets to make a
Maybe she
movie with
loves
Florence
movies like
Pugh,
yeah,
yeah, it's like, I don't know. Uh, I'm still excited until I literally know anything or just see it, you know? It could be great.
right, yeah.
Um, this is like somebody who I have a lot of faith in. Like, I love Aftersun. So, here's a piece of news that I know you were thinking about a lot this week. Adam Driver was developing a new Star Wars movie titled The Hunt for Ben Solo with Steven Soderbergh. Lucasfilm loved the idea, but when they took it to Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, they said no.
I'm literally not joking. We could do an entire podcast episode about this piece of news. No, there's just so much to it. Like, it's so crazy and there's so much to it. Me and Owen, kinda texted on and off about it a little bit. Um, I don't have, the article pulled up to me with me right now, but, the person that wrote the movie, because it was they turned in a finished script, right? To Lucasfilms. Details. The person that wrote the movie, I forget his name, but it's a guy that he worked with Adam Driver and he worked with Soderbergh. He wrote Contagion, I think. So he worked with both of them separately before. Um, and he got paid more for writing The Hunt for Ben Solo. He got paid more than any other writer has ever had gotten paid in the history of Lucasfilm scripts. So number one, that's
Wow.
fucking crazy, right? Um, he got paid more for this than any writer has ever gotten paid for any Star Wars script. Immediately, that's crazy. Number two, this is the first time that Lucasfilms has turned in a finished script to Disney that Disney shot down. So this is the first time that Lucasfilms that a Star Wars script has ever gone through Lucasfilms that then go to Disney. That Disney was like, no. This is the first time I've ever disagreed on a finished script before,
Mhm.
and it's just so crazy, right? Is am I like
Yeah.
this is like
No,
is
it is.
like it's so
I
crazy.
agree entirely. Yeah.
Like I don't. Do you think this movie's gonna get made?
I don't know. Well, so I saw was it you or Owen that said that, like, you think this is happening?
I think Owen said it's definitely happening. Um,
Okay.
I think that that this news coming out, like Adam Driver and Soderbergh talking about it, I think it is like a play at them
Try to
trying.
get yeah, to make a
Yeah,
push for it.
yeah,
I could see that angle. I just, like I don't know, you're talking about people with so much power. Like, it's like
because that's the
that's
other thing. This was from the very top. This was like this Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, personally
yeah,
shot the movie down. Like it
yeah,
went through the traditional channels, and then the CEO was like, "No, we can't do that." It's like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
And that's, like, what like, it's like, I don't know, like, I can see the angle of, like, making this public to try to make a push for it, but it's also, like, you're trying to make a push against Bob Iger, you
Yeah,
know? It's like, that's
individually,
a
Bob Iger. Yeah, like
yeah, it's like, that's a hard thing for you to successfully pull off, but maybe people are really fucking interested in it. I don't know.
I, for one, am so interested. I don't know. That's the other thing too, where it's like, am I a loser? For you know what I
I
mean?
don't think
Like,
so, no.
because like I'm so like this sounds so sick. It sounds
Yeah.
so fucking sick.
I think it's also, like I it's funny because like, we talk a lot of shit about certain kinds of blockbuster movies, and we're like, "Okay," kind of like loser shit, whatever, but, like, when it's good, man, and
Yeah.
it's like the other day, I was like, literally yesterday, I saw this TikTok edit of Lord of the Rings, and I was like, "Man, we had it so good." Like, I'm watching this edit, and I'm like, "This is unbelievable, dude." I'm like, this is just, like, an unbelievable trilogy of movies, like, it's
Yeah.
like,
Fellowship of the Ring is like one
just
of my, I don't know, like
yeah,
60 favorite movies. Yeah.
just unbelievable, like, gorgeous, big
The
filmmaking, and
fucking
it's like
Howard Shore score? They don't
yeah,
do it like
and
that
it's like
anymore. Yeah.
yeah, and you could just, like, I don't know, it's fair to be a loser when the shit's good, you know? It's like, it's fine.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it's like
bro, Star
like when
Wars
Star
is
Wars
sick
is
as
it's
fuck.
you're talking about Star Wars, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
Even that I think Owen might be a bigger fan of Star Wars than on, like, an individual like, he loves the prequels so much, right? This is all
yeah,
3 of our thing. It's like Star Wars is so sick, dude.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah. I don't know. I mean,
and Adam
I'm
Driver
sure
is
that
so cool.
this won't be the last time that it comes up in the news too. Like, surely we'll get some other details about this in the future.
I
Uh,
hope so, because that's the other thing where it's like, at this point, Adam Driver is too good for it, you know?
right, yeah, but
Yeah,
I'd be there. I'd
yeah.
watch it.
Um,
Um, our next 2 pieces of news are, I guess, both sequels, varying degrees of funny. I so this first one is just normal news. Jennifer's Body director Karen Kusama confirms Diablo Cody is working on a script for the sequel. So we will be getting a Jennifer's Body sequel.
that's
Um,
crazy. I wonder if this was like a Megan Fox like push, because I know that like she's super on the record about this being her favorite movie that she's ever worked on. Um,
yeah, I mean, considering what she's been doing recently, I would also be pushing
yeah.
for Jennifer's Body, or just to even like work with this kind of talent again. You know, Diablo Cody is a very talented writer.
Mhm.
It's very good material. I think I think there is still a very huge modern appreciation for Jennifer's Body and like
Yeah.
what makes that like it has stood the test of time a little bit, you know what I mean? Where it's like the script is so smart that that's the kind of movie that you do want to make a sequel to in the modern day because, you know, it's however many years old, what is it, like 16 years old, and it's like and it feels so modern that like making a sequel that can capture that same energy is just going to be a hit, I think. Um so yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun. And then like same director, I don't know. I could see this being a good time. I would look forward to this movie and welcome this sequel. Um, I'm assuming you would also be excited for this.
Yeah, no, I love Jennifer's Body, like, love, yeah, love Jennifer's Body. I think there's a lot of room for the sequel. I think, it's interesting just because Megan Fox is so much older now,
Yeah,
and she looks so differently now because she's, like, not only is she older, but she got so much work done that, I'm interested on how that on how yeah, I'm just interested how they'll work with that, I guess, if she's returning as a character in the movie, but,
yeah,
which
um,
I would assume that she would. It's almost one of those things where, like, why would they even do a sequel if Megan Fox didn't come back? You
right.
know?
Yeah, that
So,
would be confusing.
yeah.
The other sequel news is just like a funny thing because we didn't talk about this movie on today's episode, despite the fact that it is the biggest movie of the weekend, probably.
Mm.
Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere director Scott Cooper and Bruce Springsteen have talked about a sequel focused on another chapter of Bruce's life.
This is so funny. This is like, what if Bob Dylan, cared about any of this bullshit, basically.
Yeah. It's like, what if they just made a complete unknown too?
Yeah.
Like like Bruce
Um,
Springsteen's just really into the idea of like this movie being made about it, which is cool because like, you know, we all love Bruce Springsteen. That's fine.
yeah,
Like it's
no,
like,
he's
well,
great.
you
Yeah.
know, but it's just very funny to think about. Do it like, yeah, it's like let's do this again. He like they made the movie and he like and he got to like go on his whole publicity tour and he's like, "Hey man, I've been making music for a long time. Like I could, you know, I could do this another time if you want." It's like also from the other angle, it's like, why would Jeremy Allen White do this? Like that's I don't know. I guess I do know why, but he's
Hey,
just
bro,
gonna keep
he did like 6 seasons of The Bear. He could, you know what I mean?
sure, sure, but I mean that's the reason why he's Jeremy Allen White now.
Yeah.
So
Now he's gonna be Bruce Springsteen.
yeah, well, he already was Bruce Springsteen. I think he's on his way. He's recovering from Bruce Springsteen. Um, he's the videos of him are like, and again, we haven't seen the movie. I will be watching it this week probably if I have any time. I would
I
like
will
to see
not be
the movie
watching
in
it this week,
theaters,
definitely.
because I mean Bruce Springsteen's a Jersey boy, you know. I wanna I wanna go see the movie with a Jersey theater crowd. But yeah, the videos of him singing, I'm like, that shit's pretty crazy. like, I'm like, it's actually pretty crazy. And the other thing is like, at least one of us has to watch the movie because when we start having Oscar conversations on the pod in a couple
Yeah, yeah,
months,
we need somebody to
that we
understand.
can't,
Yeah.
yeah, we kind of can't avoid it because surely if anything gets nominated, it's going to be Jeremy Allen White's performance. But um, two more pieces of news. This is a minor one. Yorgos Lanthimos plans to take a little break following his run of 3 movies in 3 years. He's going to take a little bit of a directing break.
Okay, good for you, Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah,
Take a little nap, take a
have
little
some time off. Yeah,
yeah.
that's fine. We'll be here when you get
What
back.
is Emma Stone gonna
Um,
do in the
yeah, I
meantime?
just like it's
Is she gonna wait?
the tweets that were going around in response to this piece of news were very funny. Like specifically about Emma Stone being held captive, although obviously she does it voluntarily,
Yeah, of
but
course.
it's just yeah, it's very funny to
I'm so excited for Begonia.
Begonia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't spoil what we're gonna talk about next week right before I say it. One more piece of news. Uh, and this news is mostly only interesting because of the two young stars involved in it. Chase Infinity and Christopher Briney to star in coming of age drama The Julia Set from writer director Nikki Byrne. Infinity plays Julia, a gifted mathematician in a competitive academic world. Briney plays Pascal, the TA who recruits her for an elite prep course for the prestigious Putnam exam. Um, this sounds so fucking stupid. I was like looking into this a little bit, and I was like, this movie is probably going to be bad. But this is the first piece of casting news post One Battle After Another that we have about Chase Infinity. This is the first post One Battle After Another confirmed project that we have involving Chase Infinity, and I'm sure we will be hearing about many more. But
It's a
that's the reason why it's
writer-director?
yeah, Nikki Byrne. I I could dive a little deeper into this, but from what I remember reading, it does not sound like the most promising movie.
Yeah, it sounds like YA,
Yeah, so the only other movie that she has on her letterboxd is like a YA looking rom-com that 42 people have logged, and the graph
mm,
skews very far towards the negative.
right,
And the poster for it looks like a Lifetime movie. But I like who knows what that means. Chase Infinity and Christopher Briney is like notable here because this is the guy from The Summer I Turned Pretty.
right.
Uh, so he
Did you
will
watch that, The
probably
Summer I
be
Turned Pretty?
I've seen the first season and I wanted to keep
Mm,
watching it, and then the hype about the new season got me like really wanting to watch it. So I'll probably watch it before they do that fucking movie that they announced, which is another crazy piece of information is that they're making a movie.
oh, yeah,
Um,
I don't
and it's
understand
gonna be
that.
like theatrically released, I think.
But,
Um,
like, what's it going to be about? Because, like, it ended. Spoiler, she gets married at the end. The whole thing's a love triangle, and then the love triangle ends at the end of the show, right?
yeah,
So, like, I don't
I
understand what
think
the
so.
movie's gonna be about.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I guess I have to watch the other 2 seasons to give you an answer. Or we can just look it up. But
Yeah.
anyway, that is our news for this week. We're gonna wrap up the episode there. Next week, episode 139. Doug spoiled it already, but we'll be talking about Begonia. So we'll see you later. Bye.